Well, let me take just a minute to show you some of the tools that I use that would no doubt be common among many who are doing bookbinding work. And we'll go through some of these and put them up, get them out of our way as we go along. Might just start over here. This is just a carpenter's square. I think it's what it's called, but what I like about it, it's got feet that it can stand up on its own. That's just a clear triangle. I use that a lot in trimming in sheets when I put them on books. And so we'll get those out of our way. Bookbinder's hammers. Every bookbinder needs a good bookbinding hammer. This is not like your common claw hammer. This one has a smooth, slightly rounded head to it, but this is used to round the book, the spine of the book, and to flatten various things like the fold on the signatures of the book when you've taken a book apart and guarded those sections. But anyway, good bookbinding hammer is essential as well. You've got to have a good set of dividers, and these are dividers. There's not a compass. Compass would have a pointed side and then a penciled side. This is a two-pointed side, and it needs to be one that has the screws so you can adjust it very finely. And we use this a great deal for some measuring of things. When laying out the position of the bands on the spine of a book, those raised bands, we'll use this to quickly divide it into 6 equal sections, and that'll give you the 5 raised bands. And trial and error, you can adjust it and fine tune it till you get what you need. But once you set it, then it's there, and you can use it to make several measurements without losing that setting. But good pair of dividers are certainly essential. Got to have scissors, and I've got 2 pair of scissors that I use primarily. This particular pair, nice small pointed pair, and then I've got this set, and they're just some real cheap dollar store scissors, and I've been surprisingly pleased with how well that they've worked. But just some cheap scissors is all I'm using, but you can certainly get a lot better than that. You got to have things to measure with: yardstick, a ruler. This ruler has a rubber backing, so it'll be more non-skid. This one has a cork backing, smaller. We've got millimeters, but I use, of course, the inches. But we use those, of course, quite a bit. Got to have bone folders, and I've got 4 bone folders. 3 are actual bone, and the longer one with the rounded at both ends, then one that's rounded and pointed, and I use this an awful lot, and I use that point to crease things. And when I'm making the raised bands on Bibles and on books, that can really get in next to those bands and really put that leather down in the crease there where it needs to be. You got to have a good bone folder. This is a little one that my teacher Helen Smith gave me just a couple of years ago, and so it's a good one, an important one to me. But then there's this one that's different. This is white, not just because it was white in nature, but it's Teflon. It's not bone, it's Teflon. And of course, Teflon is slick. And when you're working with leather, the bone folder will drag and hold a little bit as you try to press on it. But this is slick, and so it will allow you to press the leather or paper, whatever it is, down without burnishing it, without dragging it, and thus causing it maybe to get a little bit shiny. Of course, you got to have glue brushes, and we've got some big ones in here, and a lot of smaller ones, a whole variety of them. Some of them I bought at the art supply store, real cheap ones that I can use and throw away when I'm done with them. But some of these are more expensive, of course, and need to be taken care of. But those are the glue brushes that I use. A micro spatula, real thin metal. You can use the pointed end or the other end to get under things and pry them up. Very useful. Got to have a micro spatula. A simple razor blade, retractable razor blade knife. I use that an awful lot in cutting paper and the like. But then also have a scalpel. Number 4 scalpel handle with a number 23 blade. Works very well when you're trimming the end sheets on paper books. You can get right up next to the book block and trim it up nice and close. So you've got to have a good scalpel, in my opinion. We use various clamps at times. These are just some quick clamps that I bought that I'll use when I'm doing gold stamping to hold the piece in place real well. The package came with several different sizes, so those are real good to have. Then all of these are just paperweights. That's all in the world they are. And you've got these antique irons, nice handles on them. They're easy to pick up and move around. Set on top of a book while it dries. Then you got these that I got out of the scrap yard and took some wire brush and cleaned them off and reprimed them and painted them and put felt bottom on them. And so they're nice to have a variety of sizes, 10 pound, 8 pounds. That one's just 6 pounds, 5 pounds of course. And even some old lifting weights were in the pile at the scrapyard as well. And so I use all of those. Some clamps, some other C-type clamps, and just a whole variety of other little things that you'll pick up that'll be a preference to you. But that would do it for a quick rundown of some of the tools that we use. I'll show you some of the equipment that we use next.